Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and look at the layoffs. There was a layoff in the tech industry. There was a layoff spike in July. Looks like Intel was leading the way there. 21,400 people impacted. Intel's cutting more jobs as CEO Tan tries to fix manufacturing missteps. You got some Microsoft layoffs. Now there's always a silver lining I've learned in my life. There's always a positive, even when the worst things are happening to you. Here's a positive. My partner, iTrustCapital, allows people to roll over their 401k in part or in full into an iTrustCapital IRA, where you can buy XRP, Bitcoin, crypto. You can also buy gold and silver in there. So if you are someone who's been affected by layoffs, give these guys a call. Or you can just go to iTrustCapital.com/XRP Army. And when you open a new account, there's a promo code as well for a $100 funding bonus. I think it applies to IRAs. If you're just interested in the premium custody account, which is the taxable account, it's a normal account, you're able to send your XRP in there. I did. I've got IRAs and premium custody account myself. Okay, the market is kind of flat, but we're at 4. This is the number I keep telling you to look at. We've had, yesterday, I believe we had over $200 billion new money flow into this market. And new money is what's going to take us all to the promised land, folks. And we haven't seen that. The 475+% increase in XRP over this year, none of that was new money. It was money sloshing around in crypto. What happens when all this big time new money really gets going? And I was talking to somebody yesterday, asked them what their prediction was, and they were being conservative into the maybe 5 to 6 trillion. I think we end 2025 at least into the 6 to 7 trillion in market cap. If we had 200 billion come in just yesterday, just imagine. Could be higher than that though this year, who knows? We do know that the Google search interest for altcoin hits its highest level since 2021, and I'll make a prediction for you because I've watched it for over a decade. Yesterday, the money was flowing into Bitcoin and Ethereum, but you know what happens next. It all sifts back down. Now, I think that script will be flipped once we finally start getting ETFs for other digital assets, once we finally get the Clarity Act. I think that no more is it going to be just Bitcoin and Ethereum and then everything else. Utility will bring a whole new paradigm, and they won't have their regulatory monopolies anymore. As usual, there's an XRP blackout. Now, I've seen XRP brought up around Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. a few times. Ray Fuentes had asked Donald Trump Jr. about XRP. That guy kept walking like he had seen a ghost. Here, Eric Trump does not mention XRP, and his friend doesn't mention XRP either. They ask, Liz Clayman asks about XRP, but he goes right to RLUSD.
When I say you're at the dial-up phase of crypto, you are. We have the fastest growing stablecoin on earth at World Liberty Financial. Everything is becoming digitized. Everything is becoming tokenized. We're making the big banks irrelevant, and it's an incredibly exciting time.
There is no doubt that crypto, digital money, is absolutely something that investors wanted to take part in, and it is growing exponentially, in part because of better regulation, clearer under this administration. But Zach, other than the fact that people feel that it's a way to, I guess, support the Trump family in getting one of these tokens, what are the reasons it would gain value relative to other crypto? Say, for example, XRP, because XRP actually has a function. It is the token of the Ripple blockchain. Ethereum is the token of the Ether network. So What does this do?
Yeah, so
beyond just being, oh, hey, it's the Trump family coin.
So this is the governance token behind USD1. USD1 is our flagship product. Like Eric said, it's the fastest growing stable coin in the world. We're actually, we have way more market cap today than RLUSD. You just
right now you do
mentioned Ripple.
Because of hype.
Right now we're blowing their stable coin out of the water, frankly. We have a little over $2.2 billion in market cap. We have over $500 million in volume a day. And right now we're the second biggest Genius compliant state.
Notice nobody they won't even acknowledge XRP. Eric Trump doesn't say a word about it. Now, this is from Trump. It's been going around.
Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that 2 years after?
Yeah, who's been working on that all these years? Now, this is for all the Bitcoin maxis who think that Satoshi is some libertarian good guy that doesn't care about money, that just came to save the world. The guy that's replacing Bo Hines, his name is Patrick Wick. He comes from the Defense Department, and he also helped oversee activities of the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARMA. Almost like the chess pieces, or the final chess pieces, are being put into place. DARPA, you know, is also the government organization, military intelligence, you know, same one that created the internet. And all you thought that the United States was going to let the U.S. world reserve currency. I told you a long time ago, I believe crypto is the Manhattan Project of the world reserve currency, okay? There's not a doubt in my mind at this point, okay? I believe that XRP can't come out of their mouths because it's a part of critical infrastructure. Systemic risk, you've heard all these words, systemic risk, systemically important. We've been talking about it for years. Well, look, this is a David Schwarz tweet yesterday. He was talking about the track record for XRP Ledger and all this. Here's his quote out of here. As many of you know, the XRPL is public and permissionless at its core, with optional permission features for regulated use cases. This open foundation makes it adaptable, interoperable, and well-positioned to serve as critical infrastructure for the world's financial system, connecting assets, markets, participants seamlessly across borders. Critical infrastructure, for those of you that don't know, that's a government term. This is from the U.S. Department of the Treasury. You know, the same Treasury that has sent people to be on Ripple's board over the years. Same Treasury that you've seen all the documentation of things over the years. This office helps formulate policy on financial institutions, community and economic development, cybersecurity, and critical infrastructure protection. This is Caroline Pham from the CFTC, you know, the same one that's been in Ripple's offices taking pictures with Brad Garlinghouse.
SIBs who are registered with us, both U.S. and non-U.S. as swap dealers, and also what's known as systemically important financial market utilities. That includes clearinghouses for the most part. So
You mean like utility tokens?
We have been, and we still are, the primary regulator of the largest clearinghouses in the world. And so we're a clearinghouse to fail. That would have a cascading effect that would be like a triple black swan event for the financial system. And that's why one of the key aspects of the Dodd-Frank regulatory reforms and the G20 derivatives regulatory reforms was to ensure the resiliency of clearinghouses and to ensure that there was robust oversight. That's primarily done through, there's so many acronyms, the Committee for Payment and Markets Infrastructure, together with the International Organization of Securities Commission.
There's that word again, markets infrastructure.
And that CPMI is in itself a subset of the Bank for International Settlements, but there's the principles for financial market infrastructures, and all jurisdictions that are part of the largest and most significant economies are required to implement that, and that ensures the safety of clearinghouses and other financial market infrastructures.
Yeah, so it.
And then, do you remember this? I do. Ripple used to do these Ripple drops. They'd put out these short clips of different people at Ripple talking about the XRP ledger and various topics. This is the most interesting one they ever put out, because after they put out the clip, they took out the part where Brianna Madigan, who I think is formerly of Goldman Sachs, and she ran the XRP markets there at the time, when they took this part out, but of course the XRP army is always there to get everything the second they see it, so it's been preserved.
Attribute of a healthy liquid market is really resilience, and that is getting at the ability for a market to recover from a significant systemic event.
Yes, that's correct. Peter Thiel-backed Bitcoin and crypto exchange bullish just went public on the New York Stock Exchange. And here is I believe he's their CEO.
Saying, hey, what's the path? Because it's feeling more real now. And by the way, you have a head of the SEC who made a comment. Crypto and America have one thing in common: freedom. So you have a regulator who's actively looking to promote blockchain technology because it is more transparent, it's more efficient, it's more secure. So that's the opportunity. The opportunity is enormous. I'm not telling your viewers that's happening overnight, but that is the opportunity.
Right. So if the regulation...
Okay, look, the big lie. Another one of the Bitcoin maxis, Kathy Wood, telling one big lie.
We are watching our clients and guiding them carefully into the ecosystem. Bitcoin, Ether. We do have private funds, which had a very heavy weighting in Solana relative to ETH until recently. And, we made a very good move at a good time as Ether started to outpace Solana. So those are the
Ethereum PR machine must have sent her an email.
Big three for us. And, we're watching layer twos, of course, as well. And I think you'll see us, as we're trying to educate our primary client base, go more deeply into, the big three, talking in terms that financial analysts and investors will understand, looking at returns relative to risk, calculating the Sharpe ratio, the Sortino ratio, and so forth.
It's the big three lie. The big three right now are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. I believe the big three in the future is going to be XRP, then something else, then something else. Utilities coming, folks. Okay, we're going to go on DAIXRP.com, which is the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these YouTube videos, or you can hit subscribe on X. Today, I'm going to tell you a story, something I was told about the Bitcoin maxis and one of the underhanded things that was done behind the scenes against the XRP army. I'm going to talk about that. These people are not good, folks. I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family, away we go.